Hey everybody, it's your girl Nell. Welcome to the Tiny Studio. This is Crocheting with Nell, with me. How are you doing? I hope that you're having a great day. I'm having a meh kind of day again, but that's how it is. And what do we do when we have days that are We just keep pushing through until the sunlight parts those clouds and it's just sunshine and blue skies all the way. That's what we do when we're faced with adversity and stressful situations and things of that nature, right? Right. So what are we doing today in the Tiny Studio? Well, I'm crocheting, of course. I am working on this Afghan. Well, it's not an Afghan quite yet. It's a lap blanket or a lap Afghan. And I think in another video, of course, I was working on it. So you may recall this granny square Afghan. So I'm going to be working on that today. What are you working on? Why don't you go and pick up your work and get your work and bring it in, and I will grab my hook, and then we'll meet back up in a few seconds, okay? Okay, got my trusty clover hook. I love this hook. I think I've talked about it before, but I love the clover hooks. I mean, if you crochet for extended periods of time, clover is so good. I so enjoy it. So what has been going on with you since the last time we chatted it up? I think the last time we talked, I did like a review of sorts of Married to Medicine. In that video, I stated that Married to Medicine came on the OWN channel. No, it doesn't. It comes on the Bravo TV channel, not OWN. OWN has the Married Huntsville, and I can't believe I forgot the name of that show. It's two shows, Married in Huntsville or Marriage and Love Huntsville. I can't remember right now. But OWN has the Huntsville and the DC shows with beautiful black people, and you know, what is the name of that show? You know what? So I'm gonna have to do a little looking, because it's going to bother me until I get it right. And I cannot believe, and see, you know, that's age for you. That's age. It's age when something that you know that should roll off your tongue just like that, you can't think of it. So I'm going to find it. I think it's Love and Marriage Huntsville. See, you see how that came to me like that? Yep. So Love and Marriage Huntsville and Love and Marriage DC occur, well, they are on the OWN channel. Married to Medicine comes on Bravo TV or the Bravo channel. Two different channels, two different networks. So I'm glad I straightened that up. Once again, I'm in the Tiny Studio at night. Maybe that's why my brain is not working the way it should be. Maybe my brain is saying, Nell, girl, listen, it's getting late. We need to rest. It's time for us to settle down, have a rum and coke, a little slice of pie, and watch Queen of the South. Have you watched Queen of the South? I love that show. I'm watching it on Netflix. I'm slowly creeping up, but I finally reached season 3. So tonight, it shall begin. You know, it's so many shows that I'm trying to catch up on. I used to watch a lot of television, but I really don't watch a lot of television anymore. What I'm watching is things that's occurring or happening on PBS. I'm a big fan of the Create channel, Create TV, another channel of the public broadcasting service, and I love Create TV, and they have so many shows on there that I just absolutely enjoy. So I really focus on that. And then of course, I'm into the news, so I'm watching the news, and I'm jumping around from CNN to MSNBC to CNBC. I really don't watch the TV that a lot of people watch today. I never watch the major networks. I don't know what comes on ABC. I don't watch any of the talent shows or the game shows. I don't watch any of that. I used to watch the Food Network a lot. I stopped watching the Food Network because the Food Network is just not the Food Network anymore, is it? When I first started watching the Food Network taught me how to cook. I was a young woman, newly married, and the Food Network had Emerald on it. They had the remember the two fat ladies? Let me see. They had Sarah Moulton. She had the dinners at 6 where you get the ingredients together and you could cook dinner with her. Let me see. Who was it? They had Julia Child on at noon. They had these two chefs. One one of the women was married to the ex of another woman, and another woman's ex-husband, whatever. And they were chefs, and I cannot remember the name of that show, but that was on the Food Network, and they taught you how to cook. Do you remember the show called How to Boil Water? The Food Network was a really great show that helped you learn how to cook. Really taught you different cuisines, how to cook, the basics of cooking. And that's what I loved about the Food Network. And then, all of a sudden it started changing. Well, I shouldn't say sudden. It was a gradual thing. It just started changing. I think that when the Iron Chef, do you remember the Iron Chef? And I mean the Iron Chef that came from what? Japan, China, somewhere over there in Asia. When the Iron Chef came out, everybody loved it. I think the executives over at the Food Network, and I think the Food Network is part of what? The ABC company, or what's it, the Disney company now? I think that when the executives over there realized that everyone was enthralled by the Iron Chef, they said, well, let's create a show too. We can do an Iron Chef. Let's do that. And that's exactly what they did. And you had Iron Chef America, which I watched a couple of times. I didn't like it. It wasn't as exciting as the original Iron Chef. And I was like, I don't like it. I don't like it. It kind of sucked to me. So I stopped watching. And then soon you had all kinds of game shows on the Food Network, What happened to all the shows that taught you how to cook? What happened to the shows that encourage cooking skills? So, then what's the name of that other network? Oh, and then another channel came called the Cooking Channel. And I was like, oh, finally. Now we're getting back to the basics of what the Food Network used to be. Now we have the Cooking Channel. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Let's do this. Oh, and another thing. Food Network really started changing over to all these game shows not only after the Iron Chef, the original Iron Chef, when Bravo came out with Top Chef. I think that's the name of Top Chef. When Bravo came out with Top Chef and that was a hit, Food Network really took off. They was like, oh, you got game shows. Oh, we got game shows too now. We got Supermarket Sweep or Supermarket Hunt or whatever they got. We got that other one where, 3 chefs come down to just one chef and one dish, and what's it called? Cut or something like that. Then the Food Network started coming out with all kind of game shows, and I was like, time out for that. I'm done. So the Cooking Channel came on. I was like, yay, we're getting back down to basics. Psych! The cooking channel, no, no. I think they had this one show on with that Jamie guy. What's that Jamie guy from England? Was he I can't remember if he was on the Food Network or on the Cooking Channel. Because I watched his show a lot too. Then he had some type of scandal and then that was it for him. Um the Cooking Channel, it's just all about game shows and fun over there at the Food Network and over there at the Cooking Channel. I don't even watch them anymore. So, what do I watch when I want to hang out as far as food and cooking and recipes and all of that stuff? Child, I'll be over at Netflix. I'll be on Netflix, and Netflix has some really great shows over there. Or I'm on PBS. I'm on Create TV, or I'm on PBS on Saturday mornings and afternoons watching because you know that's where we are these days. It's all fun and games at the Food Network. At the Food Network, it's all fun and games. Just forgot about us out here who are maybe cooking challenged. Just forget about that. So, where was I going with all of that information? I think I was talking about how I really don't watch that much TV. And what I do watch, I'm really watching a lot of Netflix. I'm catching up on some shows like Queen of the South, that Succession over at on HBO. What else? What else am I watching on Netflix? I'm watching Queen of the South. I'm watching All American. I love that show. And then All American has a spinoff called Homecoming. I got to catch up on that. I want to catch up on the show that has Eva Marcel in it. I think it's called All the King's Men. I'm watching that. I need to finish the first season because I heard that they have a second season, that's streaming now. And I'm trying to think, did I finish watching all of The Force over there on Stars? I don't know because I need to catch up and figure that out as well. So, I changed my mind. I do watch a lot of TV. It may not be a lot of cable, but in essence, it's really still a lot of TV. But I watch it on my own when I get the time to watch television because usually I'm just busy writing or I'm busy crocheting or I'm busy designing. So when I sit down to watch television, it's usually at night after I have completed the things I need to complete for the day. Then I'll sit down and I'll watch some television. I try to keep up with my favorite YouTubers. I do that. And, to support other YouTubers in their endeavors because that's important. And by the time I finished taking care of the things I need to take care of in a tiny studio and in my personal life, I really only have a few hours to devote to television watching. Oh, I'm also watching The Handmaid's Tale over on Hulu, where I really need to start catching up on because I think season 5 is going to be airing in September, and I think I'm still in the middle of season 3. I think I'm still in season 3. So no, I'm not. I think I'm just started season 4. So I love The Handmaid's Tale, but you got to have time to watch that. You got to have time and you have to be focused on what's going on, because there's some TV shows that you can watch where it's just, It doesn't take that many brain cells to watch it. That was terrible, wasn't it? That's terrible, Nell. Shame on you. But there are some television shows that's just pure entertainment. But The Handmaid's Tale is not that show. You need to be focused on what's going on. Kind of like Succession. If you don't have the time to really watch Succession, then you should put it off until another day, because it's about paying attention, truly paying attention to the dialogue, to what's happening. Because if you're not paying attention, then the storyline is going to get away from you. So that's why certain shows I haven't completed, like Billions. I haven't finished watching Billions yet this season, and the reason why is because I haven't had time to really sit down and focus on it. Because if you're not really paying attention to what's happening, like I said, the storyline is going to get away from you, and whatever they're talking about in this episode is probably going to come back up maybe in the next episode or the episode after that. So you're going to be lost. So you have to pay attention. And a lot of the shows that I watch, it does, there are those type of shows where you have to be thinking and paying attention, really paying attention. So anyhow, I'm going to pick back up watching The Handmaid's Tale probably on Friday. I think I'm just going to set aside some time to pick up on the television shows that I need to catch up on before their new seasons air. But I don't think the Queen of the South, I don't think that she has any more seasons. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, because when I'm looking at Netflix, it says Queen of the South has 5 seasons. Well, will there be a season 6? Or was the 5th season the last season? I don't know, but that show is a trip. That show got me going. So anyhow, excuse me. See, I didn't went off on a tangent, and that's not what I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to talk about Queen of the South. But it's so good. I sure it's so good. I can't help it. Anyhow, I wasn't supposed to be talking about that. What I really wanted to talk about was Nick Cannon. Did you guys hear what Nick Cannon said about women's feminine hygiene? Did you hear that? Nick Cannon says, and I'm just paraphrasing it, he says 80% of women today have poor feminine hygiene habits. What does that translate to? He's saying that the majority of women do not take care of their vaginal health or their feminine hygiene. So I guess he's saying that the majority of women stink down there. Now, I don't know what in the world possessed him to come up with that statistic and lump the majority of women into that statistic. I don't know what possessed him to do that. I mean, what does that exactly mean when he say 80% of women? Does he mean that 80% of the women that he slept with? Because see, that's what I'm rolling with. I'm rolling with Nick Cannon means that 80% of the women that he slept with have had feminine hygiene issues. Let's just Let's just put it out there. Nick, I'll do it for you. 80% of the women that you have slept with have had issues with their feminine hygiene. Okay? They were smelling down there. So, what are your thoughts on that? I'm just goofing around right now and playing, playing with, uh, just playing around a little bit. But I do want to say something on that subject of feminine hygiene. Um, what I do believe is that a lot of women have not been taught how or the mechanics of maintaining good feminine hygiene. I will say that. And I can say that because of the billions and billions of dollars that major corporations here in America rake in and profit from where it comes to the sales of feminine hygiene products. There you go. So there is something to be said for what Nick Cannon stated. And you've seen them. Feminine body wash, feminine hygiene wash, soaps, sprays, douches, or dushes as people like to say. Douches, dushes. All of those things are grouped into feminine hygiene. But what I learned over the years is that those products only mask or only, how do I say this? They mask issues that sometimes we have in our vagina. And a lot of these feminine hygiene products causes the issues that we have in maintaining our feminine hygiene. It's it's as simple as that. When you read the ingredients on the bottles of some of these feminine hygiene products, you'll find so many chemicals on them. And I wonder if those chemicals that are on the bottles of these, on the labels of these products that a lot of women use for or to manage their feminine hygiene, I wonder if these ingredients cause or causes a lot of the different types of infections and cancers that we as women experience. Somebody should do a study on that. I also believe that a lot of us mothers do not talk to our children, our daughters, about feminine health. And I think a lot of us mothers have been miseducated about how, or miseducated or misguided on what proper feminine hygiene is. I think that too. Because see, we were brought up, certain generations were brought up to douche or dush. Then we come to find out, excuse me, that douching is not good for you. It's unhealthy. How many women over the years have used products douching products that, are not. All I'm saying is that douching was a mainstay in feminine hygiene, right? Right. Then doctors came in, studies show that douching was harmful to your feminine hygiene and reproductive health, right? Right. But for so many years or so many generations, mother taught daughter to, that part of her feminine hygiene maintenance was to douche. That was a part of our maintenance. That's what we did, right? This is true. So some things that mothers teach their daughters about feminine hygiene, reproductive health, they learned it. It was a miseducation and it was passed on. A lot of these products that's on the market right now, these companies are making billions of dollars off of feminine hygiene. But the reality is most of those products, or the majority of those products, really don't help the situation at all. At all. Because we as women, we have a system in place that cleanses our bodies, that cleanses our reproductive areas, that cleanses our vagina. And if we eat right and have a healthy diet, then our vaginal areas will clean itself. Now, that does not mean that you can't do a general outside cleaning of your pubic area, your vagina, and all of that good stuff down near the secret garden. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I'm also saying that a lot of us have been raised to take a towel or a rag, put some soap on it, and just clean ourselves like that down there. See, some of us are not taught that if you're going to use soap on a towel to put it down there, that there's certain type of towels that you should use. Perhaps a cotton towel. Perhaps a towel that is dye free. So that means it's going to just be a white cotton towel that you use to put down there. Maybe the soaps that you use, maybe you shouldn't use Dial soap or Irish Spring or whatever other soaps they have on the market. Maybe that wasn't made for your vaginal area. Maybe another type of soap, like an African black soap or an all-natural castle soap is good for that area. I personally use Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. When I started using Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap over 25 years ago, that just really erased about 90% of my issues with my feminine hygiene. And I had issues. I will not sit here and lie to you. I had issues. How about I didn't understand that when you are engaging in intimacies with your partner, based on what your partner or based on your partner's diet and their intake, whatever it is that they eat and they drink, it affects the fluids or the bodily fluids that come out of them and enters you. And that changes the whole pH balance of your body, of your secret garden. And based on what they use to wash their areas and take care of their hygiene, that affects you. That affects your intimate places. It can cause infections and things like that, and those smells that occur and arise after an intimate moment. See, I didn't understand all of that. I just thought that after you made love with your partner, you douched. I wasn't hip to that game. I wasn't hip to how to really take care of your feminine hygiene. I didn't know. I didn't know, and I wasn't educated and taught that. Now, when it comes to my daughters, I educate them. I educate them. I let them know, hey, use peppermint soap on your you ask for your for vaginal cleansing, peppermint soap. When you use the bathroom, create a handheld bidet and clean yourself. Rinse yourself off. When you have a cycle, you do that. Don't use tissue unless it's absolutely necessary, but a nice, a nice bidet or a handheld bidet, a bidet on your toilet. You can have these days you can place a bidet on your toilet. You can make a handheld bidet. All of those things where you don't even have to put a towel or a hand towel or a rag on your private parts, and your private parts will smell beautiful. Because what I do is use peppermint oil soap in my bidet. I use a little lavender and a little eucalyptus, and I clean and rinse my secret garden. Hose it down. Dry it off. That keeps you smelling good. That keeps you healthy. Eating the right things. Drinking cranberry juices. Drinking grape juice. Drinking all those sweet juices full of vitamins and nourishments. It gives off a very beautiful and pleasant taste and smell to your intimate parts, to your womanly bits. These are things that a lot of our mothers and grandmothers were not taught, but we have the knowledge to be able to teach our daughters and our nieces and, the young women that we come in contact with, that this is how you take care of your feminine hygiene. And a lot of people don't know this. A lot of women do not know this. And a lot of women who do know this, they aren't really talking. So in a way, when I listen to, Nick Cannon say that 80% of women have an issue with their feminine hygiene, of course I'm looking at him side-eyed and laughing, but based on what I see in the marketplace, I would have to say that somewhere down the line, we do have an issue. We do have a problem. And we have a problem that no one is really addressing. I think that if we really get back down to the nature of things, we could put these corporations out of business. And I don't think that's what they want. I think a lot of these companies and these corporations, they want you to continue to buy their feminine wash and they want you to continue to buy their douches and, their sprays and all this other stuff. They want you to do that because they want you to believe that this is going to help your situation when in essence it's not. The first time that I was made aware of how to take care of my feminine hygiene was through a sister named Queen Afua. She wrote a book called Heal Thyself. And in there, she talked about how to wash your body, washing your body with peppermint oil soap. She talked about loving your lady bits and how to really take care of them and have them smelling sweet and tasting delicious. She talked about that. And when I read that chapter, I went right to the Cass Co-op. I'm from Detroit, and the Cass Co-op no longer exists. But I went to the Cass Co-op, and I bought some Dr. Bronner's peppermint oil soap, and I bought some rose water, and I bought some peppermint oil, essential oil. I bought some lavender essential oil. I bought some eucalyptus essential oil. And I started experimenting with what felt good to me and what smelled delicious to me and what smelled delicious to my husband. And from that point on, and that was the 90s, from that day to this one, I still do it. I try to make sure that I am juicing, that I'm taking in lots of fruits, juices, a lot of vegetable juices. Because listen, I want the kitty to purr, baby. I want the kitty to purr. I want the kitty to excite. I want the kitty to do what it needs to do. Do you understand? I want the I want the kitty to entice, if you know what I'm saying. And the only way all of that's going to happen is that I need to have what? Good feminine hygiene. And so do you. So, I know a lot of women were jumping on Nick Cannon's case, as they should, but I just felt this was a discussion. What he said opened the door for a broader discussion about feminine hygiene, in my opinion. You know, sometimes when you hear people say things, before, you fully dismiss the messenger, you should also take a closer look at the message if you can. And there was a message that the messenger dropped in our laps. And even though we can fully dispute and discredit his faulty math, because I'm sure he did not do a poll, a scientific poll or anything. I'm sure he didn't do any type of research and analysis and put together hypothesis or anything, and then, did the research. I'm sure he did not do that. He just, 80% of women. But, as I said, I can throw the messenger away, but I can look into the message. And I can just look around. I was at Target, it'll be like a week and a half ago. And I was at Target and I was going around that aisle because I was looking for something not feminine hygiene related, but something else. And you would be surprised as to how many products are on the market for feminine hygiene. Like I said, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You would be surprised. I'm sure you're not surprised, but it's a lot. And a lot of people are putting down their money because they don't want to offend and they want to smell good and they want to keep the kitty purring, right? They want to keep the kitty purring and comfortable and smelling good, right? Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But it just go to show you that perhaps we all should take a closer look at our feminine hygiene products and try and figure out if we can do better. That if we are having issues with our feminine hygiene, that maybe perhaps we can look for ways where we can discover ideas and formulas that can help us be successful. And I notice there are quite a few, well, not quite a few. I notice there are African American women who are now in the game, creating and developing feminine hygiene products for the consumer. I understand that as well. And the last time I checked, there was a sister who was, whose products were selling at Target, and I can't remember what happened. I think she sold the company, and they went from using all these natural ingredients in the products to just using what all these other feminine hygiene products use, a lot of chemicals, But I'm here to let you know that you can most definitely use all natural products, use what use what the universe has provided, use what nature has provided, and you can have a really great smelling, humming kitty and not even have to bother with summer's eve. You know what I mean? Not even have to bother with that. But it's really all about education, and it's really all about, it's kind of like when you know, you know. And if you know, you do better. A lot of people don't know. Obviously, because that's what Nick Cannon is trying to say. Right? I don't know. I think a lot of mothers don't talk to their daughters about their feminine hygiene and, sex period. So that's a problem in itself. But my daughters don't have that problem. They probably feel mom talks a little too much about it. But I just want them to stay informed, and I want them to be educated. And I don't want one like Nick Cannon coming up to them saying that their coochie smell. I know that's ridiculous, but in essence, that's what he's trying to say. What he's really trying to say is that a lot of you ladies coochie smell. And this video has helped some of you figure out a way to keep your feminine hygiene all natural and smelling good. Hopefully this video has given you some ideas on how you can do that, right? Right. Okay, so it's 45 minutes into the hour or after the hour, and I'm going to close right here. I completed a full 2 rows of this beautiful plum color. It's a very beautiful yarn. I'm trying to think. I think this is I think this was the Impeccable yarn that I got from, I don't want to say that. I think it is. I think it's the, is it? No, it's not. It's really it's the yarn I got from Hobby Lobby, because it's over here in this Hobby Lobby bag. It's the yarn I purchased from Hobby Lobby. I think it is soft and sleek, and it's a plum color. So I'm using it in this particular granny afghan. And so I am going to flip it over, which I have already done. I've already flipped it over, and I place the now where is it? Okay, let me find. Oh, okay, I've already flipped it over, and I've already placed the stitch marker on the side that I'll be working on. You see the stitch marker? There it is. So I know that when I come back to this project, I'm going to start on this side, because that is what keeps your granny square a complete square, is when you flip your work maybe every row or every other row. So that's what I do. Every other row I flip my work. So thank you so much for hanging out with me here in the tiny studio. Don't forget to do the usual, which is like this video. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'm not even going to talk to you. Nope. Because you know what you should be doing. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time here in Simply Nell's Tiny Studio. Bye-bye.